Good day, guys. A couple days ago, it was the 50th anniversary of something super iconic. If you haven't already answered to the screen right now, we're talking about the Sydney Opera House in Australia. I have to thank my mom for this one. She reminded me the other day. And as I'm recording this, it is the 21st, so it was actually yesterday. And as this goes up, it will probably be actually the 22nd in Australia. So this was a couple days ago. But yeah, 50th anniversary of the opening of the almighty Sydney Opera House. Now, this video is actually going to be all over the place. So I'm just going to wing it right now. There's probably going to be barely editing in this. I just have to say this is more of just a distant, I'm just an American guy, not even from Australia. I'm not in Australia. But I think my perspective is one a lot of people in the world share, and that is that the Sydney Opera House is just unbelievably iconic. It's unique. It's gorgeous. It's, one of the many faces and great landmarks there is in Australia. Some would argue it's probably, in my opinion, one of the most famous structures or landmarks on Earth. It's the kind of thing where there could be people in any random country or city or anything, and they might not know anything about Australia. They might not even be able to point it out on a map. But it's that kind of place where most people, even people that aren't an expert on other countries, they know the Sydney Opera House. They know, oh, that's in Australia. I might know a lot more about Australia now with this channel and years of just falling in love with the place. I might know more than the average American does about Australia, right? But many Americans out on the street, I'm very confident, if they don't know much, they're going to know the Sydney Opera House. I just watched one of the coolest videos, and I chose not to react to it because, I tell you what, I'm going to link it in the description, though. If you didn't see it, it's really cool. I'll pull it up right now. So this is a video. I'm not going to play it. I want you to watch the original. I'll have a link down there. This is from the Sydney Opera House channel. Maybe like right there is cool. But yeah, it's a video from the Sydney Opera House channel, I believe. It is, yes. And it's like a song. And obviously I'm not going to play it, A, for copyright reasons, but B, because honestly, I want you to just go watch it uninterrupted and just take it in. It's really cool. Again, it's one of those videos where I know it's not going to hit me the same because I'm not born and raised in Australia. And, some people obviously watching this might have lived their whole life in Australia. They're Australian. Maybe even some people live near this thing and get to see it on almost a daily basis. So, of course, this video is going to hit different for you. But even as a distant American who, of course, knows about the Opera House and, I feel like has a bit of a connection to Australia just because it's this amazing family and community we have on this channel. And, I literally am sitting around things that are from Australia that I've had gifted to me from Australian people. It definitely, it got me in the feels a little bit, man. I almost teared up. It was one of those, like a few videos we've watched in the past, that just really was awesome and powerful, really cool message, and just showing this thing being constructed, talking about how it's different, how it, wasn't afraid to break all the rules and be its own thing, be unique. And now, 50 years later, it's standing strong, looking beautiful, and like I said, it's one of the most famous things on Earth. It's so recognizable. Talk about putting Australia on the map, right? How many people have traveled from how many dozens and dozens and dozens of countries to land, and find themselves in Sydney, in the harbor, and see this beautiful thing just shining in the sunlight. Like, it must be a cool experience. I cannot wait to experience that myself. It's going to be an unbelievable day for sure. Yeah, I thought I'd shout this out. It will be linked down there if you didn't see it. Go ahead and check it out. But yeah, in closing with this, I think it's cool. This premiered October 18th, 2023. October 18th was my birthday, if you're unaware. So I think that's also kind of cool, got to admit. And yeah, it's just, this was a great video, great song, great message covering, like the construction of this thing. It's just so freaking cool. And, you know, if we go over here to the good old wiki, they even have this updated. It has the 50th anniversary logo, right? You can see the silhouette of course, the Opera House with the 50. Very, very cool. Every view of this thing is just gorgeous, right? There's not a bad angle on this thing. It's just so cool, dude. It's so cool. And it's something I've known since I was little, even as an American kid, right? You just see it in media. You see it in movies, what have you. Of course, I saw it. I've always been a fan of sports and the Olympics when I was a kid. And to be quite frank, like the 92 Olympics, I don't remember because I was like an infant, or maybe I wasn't even born yet. And the 96 Olympics, which I believe were in the U.S. I'm talking Summer Olympics, by the way. The Summer Olympics 96 would have been, I think, in the U.S., I think in Atlanta, Georgia. So that's cool, but I was, again, too young to remember it. So the first memories I have of the Olympics, because I've always liked the Summer Olympics more, so that's what I refer to as Olympics, were Sydney in the 2000s, or in 2000, I'm sorry, the year 2000. Seeing that on TV back then, it was just so cool. And I remember, of course, they would show this and, you know, various places around Sydney. And it was just, yeah, ever since then, I knew it was a part of Australia, that was in Australia. And you know, back then when I was younger, I was into like buildings, right? So, you know, I always thought the Chicago skyline was spectacular, right? The Hancock Building, the Amoco Building, of course, the Sears Tower, the Willis Tower, whatever you want to call it, right? Nowadays, it fell into these category of like cool buildings, I thought, you know, when I was a kid. So it was always like there, like I always knew about it. And it's really cool to learn that it's the 50th anniversary. You know, it's on the bucket list for so many people, including myself, to see, to get a picture at, to just take in person. And it is really something special. I'm sure the just infinite list of people who have performed there, of events there, shows there, celebration there, you know, you name it. Just a very cool place, very historic, very iconic. And yeah, I just wanted to say my congrats. My congrats to Australia, to Sydney, and to everyone, you know, always involved with this. You know, whether you like it or not, it is it is an iconic place, and it's beautiful. And just like Australia, it's spectacular. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. You know, what does the Opera House, how has it, if anything, had an impact on you, right? If you're from Australia or New Zealand or somewhere, anywhere, and you've gotten to be a part of the Opera House in some sort of way. Maybe you've worked there, maybe you've performed there, or been to an event there. You know, what are some of your coolest memories, pictures, you know, that type of thing at the Sydney Opera House? You know, what are your opinions on it and fond memories of it for, you know, the 50th anniversary? I would love to hear your stories. Like I said, this is a different type of video, but I just feel like I had to cover it because it's so cool. And, you know, it's an icon in a country that I really do love. So, yeah, shout out to my mom for reminding me of that. I'm sure people have and would have reminded me of this in our community as well. I'm sorry, October 20th, 1973. Can you believe that was 50 years ago? It cost 102 million Australian dollars back then. That's equivalent to around $962 million in 2018, which is crazy. I'll pull the screen back up. Actually, I can do this one maybe. And yeah, it's just that is a lot of money, but I think it paid off. It's been something just so cool and so powerful over those 50 years. And I'm not going to go through this whole page, but I just like to look at the pictures, you know, see the early stages of its development. You know, it took a few years, right? As you would expect. I mean, it's a very, in my opinion, it's a very complex design. It's not exactly simple, right? It's not like building a box. This thing is anything but common. This is very unique and very cool. You know, the night shots are equally as good on this thing. It's just so cool. And, you know, what's your favorite angle? Like I said, it does look good from every angle. Although this angle and this lighting, this thing just looks amazing. I know it's a little different because you usually view it from the side where you can see more of the white. but you can still see it combined with like the windows. I think it looks really cool at this angle. Of course, vivid Sydney, it always looks super interesting, crazy, colorful. So yeah, tell me if you saw that video that they put out for the 50th anniversary. What did you think of it? You know, what are some memories there, that type of thing. I would love to hear from you guys. And like I said, congratulations, Australia. Congratulations to Sydney and everyone involved with this thing over the years. It's a beautiful place. It's an icon. It's a landmark. And it is admired from people all across the world. There's no denying that. So thank you guys for listening to me ramble about the Sydney Opera House. I hope you've had a great weekend and continue to do so. And I will see you guys in the next one. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. And until next time, y'all, catch you later.